Navier is asleep, but a low, affectionate voice whispers sweet dreams from Heinle, causing to close her eyes and wrap herself in sheets. Heinle kissed and embraced her. His chest touched her back, and he leaned on her neck, causing her to relax. Navier thinks that even if Heinle was stealing the mage's mana, she couldn't blame him. He seemed to have a competitive spirit against the Eastern Empire. In fact, it was a rival country. But she would resent Heinle for his involvement in mage decline, despite rational understanding. Though she loves the Western Empire, she won't trample on the Eastern Empire to love the Western Empire. After several days of searching, Viscount Roteshu finally discovered a lead on the real daughter of the Iskwa family. The director let out a sigh and smiled. Then he turned the document he was examining toward Viscount Roteshu. The orphanage was filled at the time, but due to unfortunate circumstances, they had to accept 2 more girls. The director pointed his finger at the girl without a note underneath and smiled broadly, and said that she is the pride of their orphanage, whose name is Evely. Viscount Roteshu jumped up in excitement. If this were true, it would be a great event. People would think that the 2 daughters of the Iskwa family would become the emperor's wives, while Rashta would feel that everything had been taken from her by Evely. After leaving the orphanage, he asked a mercenary to bring Evely's blood. Meanwhile, the old Duke Zementia of the Western Empire had left the capital for Compshire. He went to see his daughter, Krista. The subordinate was surprised that old Duke Zementia did nothing, despite the strong rumor circulating about Empress Navier's possible infertility. Marquis Ketrin faces challenges in resolving the family's situation following the scandal, focusing on their children's future over loyalty. The subordinate questions whether to define their position quickly. Old Duke Zementia argues that the Empress's infertility rumor is a trap, suggesting she may be pregnant. Finally, the carriage stopped in front of Compshire's mansion. The old Duke realizes the carriage hasn't entered the mansion and asks the coachman to go further. The coachman, who is guarded by knights, tells him they insist the carriage cannot enter. A mercenary discovered a small aperture at the bottom of the front door, allowing food and drink in. The old Duke understood the situation and angrily shouted that Heinle had imprisoned his daughter. In the Western Kingdom there was an event called Great Prayer in which offerings were presented to the king and queen. Nair practiced and learned about the event, which involved offering 6 foods to the emperor and empress. They shouldn't spill the food. If so, it will consider unlucky. However, she was worried if there were food that pregnant women shouldn't eat, this will push her to reveal that she is pregnant and her infertility trap will end. The situation was worse when the examined food was presented to her, as it was deemed nutritious but not suitable for pregnant women. Heinle also frowned at the food, though Navier wanted to delay the baby announcement until Heinle's birthday to defeat hostile nobles. The situation pushed them to reveal the truth. Heinle seemed to understand her and quickly grabbed her hand. Then he raised it, kissed the back of it, and smiled splendidly. Heinle announced to the nobles that he would eat alone, causing them to be confused, but understand after her told them that it is 2 months old. Sovieshu, who had Glorum on his lap, dropped the baby's toy he was holding in one hand at Marquis Karl's report. As a result, the princess burst into tears. Marquis Karl repeats that Navier is pregnant. Sovieshu can't believe it and asks the Marquis who he heard it, but the Marquis told him that it was revealed by Navier herself in front of Western Empire nobles at an event. Sovieshu's eyes withered with a distorted expression. Marquis Karl raised his hands to prevent the emperor from dropping the baby. Sovieshu, confused by the news of Navier's pregnancy, questioned if she was infertile during their marriage. He couldn't accept it, but he couldn't help but notice a painting on the wall. Sovieshu, holding a baby, tensed and fearful, saw the baby's soft silver hair. He wondered if the infertile person was himself, not Navier. Duke Zementia expresses congratulations to Navier. She recognized that it was old Duke Zementia, Krista's father. Despite appearing friendly, he revealed his true colors by saying it was unfairly revealed after a 2-month secret about the empress's pregnancy, since it was a national and succession concerns. He hinted the other nobles with his words that the empress must have kept her pregnancy a secret to test them. Heinle calmly argued that the fault lies with those who didn't believe them, that there's no need to worry about the heir and those with malicious thoughts. As Heinle and old Duke Zementia exchanged sly smiles, the faces of several nobles darkened at Heinle's words. McKenna reports that people close to Navier seem elated, while McKenna hands a yellow letter. McKenna suggested Hindley to join them and do the work tomorrow or the following day. Hindley asked about his queen's expression when Duke Amentia sneered at her. Hindley reveals that his queen had an angry expression that can affect her pregnancy. A ruthless smile appeared on his face as he muttered and glanced at the letter. The old Duke enters the office. While McKenna showed him the letter, he takes the letter and looks up, expressing nothing to fear. The old Duke returns the letter to McKenna, who denies it is forged. He reveals that the letter, which instructs the empress to prepare harmful food for her pregnant baby, was forged. Hindley questions why the old Duke would deny it despite seeing it in his handwriting. He asks Hindley why would he leave such evidence if he did it, and found Hindley's words absurd. Hindley denies taking revenge for mentioning the recent infertility rumor, stating it's only an investigation. Hindley requests the library's borrowed books record. But as soon as the door was completely open, his eyes widened. The old Duke was stunned. It was his daughter, Krista. The old Duke was surprised by the thick rope around her neck, which was used for hanging executions, and the knot's shape. Hindley ignored the old Duke's reaction and reached out his hand. The woman gently placed the book in Hindley's hand and left. Old Duke Amentia receives a record of books borrowed by his son from the library, including titles of harmful foods and medications for pregnant women. Duke Amentia became pale, fearing that it was a threat. So now Emperor Hindley was threatening him. He wanted the old Duke to acknowledge the fake evidence. Otherwise, his daughter would be hanged. A murmur came from the bushes. Viscount Rotesha was about to enter the Western Palace when he suddenly heard the voice. Viscount Rotesha was puzzled by Rashta's murmur while stroking a doll, thinking if she become crazy, but she later revealed she was practicing baby holding. Viscount Rotesha approached her while listening to her talk, offering information about the daughter of the Isqua family, but she declined to search for her. Rashta mocks Viscount Rotesha for looking for someone else's daughter, while he loses his own. She slaps him twice, claiming he's being punished. Despite his dislike for Rashta, viewed her as sly and naive, but did not care about her suffering in the current Rashta. Rotesha didn't hesitate to reveal that Evely is the real daughter of the Isqua family. Anger seeps into her eyes, and she drops a doll and grabs Viscount Rostetchu by the throat. Rashta can't believe what she heard, but Rotesha told her that he would not give fake information to her, since she is her source of money. He is angered by Rashta's lack of focus, as she needs to win the emperor's heart to gain money. Rashta doubts Viscount Rotesha and asked if he did a test. Despite having her blood, he couldn't perform the test due to temple restrictions and irregularities. Despite her nervousness, she believes it is false. Rashta, sarcastically accusing him of lying, tries to hurt her by pointing out that she has found the daughter they've been searching for years. Rotesha questions why they couldn't find Evely for years, unsure if it's due to superficial or lack of intelligence, but believe Evely might be their daughter. Viscount Rotesha urgently requested money for a skilled informant and for Alan's well-being, as he was raising her son at the mansion. When Rashta removed the jeweled bracelet from her arm and handed it to him, Viscount Rotesha accepted it without hesitation. Then he turned away as if his business was over.